Good morning and welcome to the Point. It is Thursday, September 17th, 2020. Thank you to those of you joining us on the GBN Television Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, those of you watching on GBN TV channels 7, 11 and 20, and the folks listening to Classic 105.5, 105.9. It's Open Line Thursday here on To The Point. This is where we give you, our viewers and listeners, an opportunity to phone in or message us with things that you think we need to be made aware of, anything that's on your mind. If you have comments, questions, queries, concerns, now is the time to share. 435-2041, that's the landline number. It's also the WhatsApp number, 435-2041. Please, only written messages on WhatsApp. You can also post your comments, questions, queries, concerns on the GBN Television Facebook page and the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. Let's go to our first caller of the program. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, host.
Good morning, Ms. Jeremiah. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, and how are you?
I'm great.
Oh, great. Good to hear you.
Thank you.
This morning, but
no problem.
It was an interesting conversation. Anyway, I want to read something from 1 Chronicles, chapter 10. And it has to do with the death of King Saul. And I would advise people to read the whole chapter, and with that chapter, read 1 Samuel chapter 28. Because it tells us a lot of things that we don't know. So when we say God tells us to pray for people in authority, we slight it. But there is a good reason why we need to pray for those who rule us. It says, and it came to pass on the morrow that Saul was dead. He was killed by the Philistines. When the Philistines came to strip the slain, that they found Saul and his sons fallen in Mount Gilboa. And when they had stripped him, they took his head and his armor and sent it into the land of the Philistines round about to carry tidings unto their idols and to their people. And they put the armor in the house of their gods and fastened Saul's head in the temple of Dagon. And when all Jabesh Gilead heard all that the Philistines had done to Saul, they arose, all the valiant men, and took away the body of Saul and the bodies of his sons, and brought them to Jabesh, and buried their bones under the oak in Jabesh, and fasted 7 days. Now, this is interesting verses I want to highlight. Verse 13 says, so Saul died for his transgressions, which he committed against the Lord, even against the word of the Lord, which he kept not, and also for asking counsel of one that had a familiar spirit to inquire of it, and inquired not of the Lord. Therefore he slew him and turned his kingdom unto David, the son of Jesse. Now, it seemed to me that leaders are attracted to witches and wizards and warlocks and soothsayers and those people. And when God says in Romans that we have to pray for those in authority, and I think in Timothy, pray for those people. The devil is there, and he wants Satan come to steal, kill, and destroy. And when he gets a leader, he hold on to that leader and cause him to do a lot of things that is godless. Now, Saul was chosen by God to be king over Israel. But Saul did not do all the word of God. He said he died for his transgression. He committed against the Lord, not against the people, against the Lord, even against the word of the Lord. For he kept not, and also for asking counsel of one that had a familiar spirit to inquire of it, and inquired not of the Lord. Therefore, the Lord slew him and turned his kingdom to David, the son of Jesse.
Okay.
So when God tells us to pray for our leaders, because we don't know what the devil used them to do, sometimes they do things and they think it's them or it's a demon that pull them up because of where they go and what they do.
All right.
We need to pray for them.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day there. God bless you
too.
And all the best for the weekend.
Thanks, you too. It's Open Line Thursday here on To The Point, 435-2041. That's the landline and the WhatsApp number. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, morning, Doctor. I'm calling me in defense of the children. A number of people were asking questions this morning in relation to the guideline on the wearing a mask, the children. And people were asking questions, but I don't know if the government did say when they did the last update. But I think they took that from guidelines that UNICEF and the WHO have recommended for governments to adhere to. So that is a sort of from an authority base that this is being done. I don't think it's helter-skelter. I heard it another medium internationally that was what the UNICEF, and UNICEF is the United Nations Children's Organization, and the WHO. I just thought I'd say that on behalf of the children, so that those who under 5 who are not required to wear masks, it's well within the guideline of the two organizations. And I don't think it's just a really thing from the government.
Okay.
And I hope I'm not sounding like I'm defending them. But
no problem.
It's the defense of the children.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you, caller, for that bit of information. Let me check the social media before I go back to the phone lines. All right, WhatsApp are coming back just now. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Citizen Welsh. Can you hear me well?
Not loudly or clearly.
All right, let me do this. Citizen Welsh, listen.
That's better.
I'm suffocating in my house right now. Inside my place of abode, I'm suffocating. I'm suffocating because somebody is burning rubble, vegetation, whatever. It is somewhere in the vicinity or probably beyond, and it's killing me. I had to wear my mask inside, my gas mask, Citizen Welsh, inside my house based on the condition that I suffer with. My understanding that this is wrong, this is illegal. People's health are being prejudiced by this irresponsibility. Grenada, call upon the government of Grenada to correct this. They're killing us slowly. I call upon the police to get that fire out immediately. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Citizen Rolo. Again? Is it that people head hard or they just wicked? I don't know. Burning in residential areas, burning across the board is just annoying to me, but especially in residential areas, it's just inconsiderate, and I don't know. I don't know what to say again. I don't know. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, my wonderful lady.
Morning.
I'm pretty okay myself in any case, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Listen about the war and read about the war, I find mankind had the war in a terrible state, you know. What kind of war they will live for the children to come to our resort to come? The kind of things man inventing and the kind of things man spending money on. And you have people in the world starving. They have places to shelter, they don't have water, they don't have food to eat. In the world, in mighty America, there are people living homeless in America, more than any part of the world. Them spending now some money on some nuclear weapon, remote control weapon, unmanned weapon now in the sea, both well as plane and all, to fight war, to fight conquer China. Because China investing in weapon, so you're trying to make that in a while to come to conquer China. I mean, what kind of war it would be? What man spending money on weapon for? What is the purpose of weapon? To destroy one another? We are allowed to die, you know. We didn't come in the world to live forever, so why man to be spending all amount of money on weapons? People die, hunger in the world, hunger all over the world, sickness all over the world. COVID-19 is in the air right now. I think Trump say you have a medication, a vaccine for it. Maybe might use it next month result. They are pushing in America. But Biden say that that ain't good. That is what politics. But the scientists say that they have a vaccine they're making, but they will use it maybe between November, December. But Trump say it might come up before that in any case, you know. But they feel it's so make it. You know, Trump made the medicine. The vaccine made by the president, made by people who spend money on making it, and they had to buy it in any case, you know. So I'm not talking about the world who listen news and read and think, what kind of world will be in time to come? Only weapon man making. Big stuff, $1 billion weapon. And people in the world is in trouble, all over the world, people is in trouble. Somebody has water to drink. It's really COVID-19, other thing exposing the world, you know. Other ugly thing exposing countries, I mean, we didn't never expect anything, even countries' economy falling, business and running things as it should be, but man spending money on weapon. and feel there is peace. And they have no power. What power, man? Man has some power, not? Man, when you have authority for a while, you get to die. So why man should be spending all the money and take care of man instead of let man live longer in the earth? Bless you.
Thank you very much, caller. Let me go to the social media before I go back to the phone lines. WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, I feel that it's too much easing. I notice people on the buses not wearing masks. On most of the buses, the fine should be increased, not decreased. We need to get more strict with mask wearing. Another WhatsApper says, what if there are children that are 5 and over that do not want to wear masks in schools, especially in the school for special education? Can you force the child to put on a mask? Even if the child has a disability, they need to think about that too. And somebody else on WhatsApp says, I think masks... No, start over. I do not get the part about members of the deaf community. They also have to try to understand what others outside of the deaf community are saying, and that group will be wearing masks. Furthermore, they can spread the virus if infected. I think masks should be worn once out in public in the language of the police. Move with a purpose and go back home where you do not need to wear it. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning.
It seems to me that special people are being targeted by certain people. As far as I'm concerned, we have in Grenada a lot of irregularities taking place. For example, people are stopping in the road with their vehicles and having conversation, blocking traffic. And the people who supposed to monitor and charge those people are not doing that because they might be their friends. You see vehicle parked on both sides of the road in a narrow street. You see them parked even in front of the bus stand where there should be no parking. And nobody, as you would say, the authority, whoever the authority is, are not taking control of those things. And people parking, people that, as for me, I had an experience sometime this week. I went to a particular doctor, Dr. Callis. I parked my car down the hole, and when I'm ready to come out, somebody blocked the street for hours, blocked the entrance, And immediately after I spent a few hours there, the person came, and the vehicle was in working condition. So possible, I wanted to go into the vehicle. When somebody was sitting it, when the person came, they told the man attacked me and telling me, what did I touch your vehicle for? And you blocked the street. So the people who have to do those work are not doing their work. So that, and strangers to that extent, they take over. People that from abroad, they take over and they do anything and nobody is correcting them. You have vehicle park all about in the street on both sides in St. George's. The black street, they're tucking in the road. And nobody is not doing anything to them. In fact, look at even Montfanasos Road now. They say it's open to big trucks. Big trucks, 20-ton, 40-ton trucks. And you cannot see nobody to them. We have about 3 schools in the area. And the people parked on the side to drop their children. And even to wait for them. Yet for all, the road has been blocked. You cannot even pass. And you don't see a police coming to alleviate or to make things easier for the drivers and perhaps for some of the pedestrians. The road has been blocked. We have 3 schools in the area. And nobody don't see the need for coming and relieve the traffic. But you hear people coming on the air as policemen and saying what is wrong. Dispatch people at certain times in the day when they know the traffic would be busy so that the traffic could be alleviated. People would have an easy way of going to work and coming from work. I have a lot of more complaint to make. We're not obeying laws in Grenada.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller. Somebody on WhatsApp says, I am thankful and satisfied. However, since we do not have any cases of COVID-19, we should try to prevent infected people from coming into our country and allow as much of our people as possible to attend funerals or weddings. Imagine a popular person as myself dying today or tomorrow. Hundreds may want to attend my funeral, but on a serious note, time for us to operate normally. In relation to the kids 5 and under, are they not likely to contract or spread the virus? Doesn't make sense if they are trying to keep our island COVID-free. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning. I'm Blossom, and to all your followers.
Morning.
I would like to be patient and give me a couple of minutes this morning. I have 2 issues I wanted to speak about.
Once it's within the 3 minutes.
I try to. I have, one of them is the budget, and the other one is another thing I heard. I am very concerned when it's not the budget, sorry, the cabinet reshuffle. I listened to the Prime Minister, and I heard nothing about any concern for the development of our country, and everything about the concern of the ruling party as we go into the next 20 or 30 months before elections. All that was done is people being rewarded, people being chided, action taken because we think the youth are sliding away from the support of the party. Nothing there. And let us be fair about it. I mean, in the reshuffle, we saw the self-acclaimed successful Minister of Finance at a time of challenge, giving way to someone whose financial history is very checkered. When you look at the Grand Lake issue and the oil and gas, why are you making a change like that now? We're hearing about the oldest cabinet minister about to retire from what he said, taking over youth development. That's a new spin on success and planning, probably. Very shrewd. Nothing to do with the development of our country. We also saw a case where the Ministry of Planning, there is no dedicated planning unit anymore. It got shuffled out in the reshuffle. So these things to me tell us very clearly that reshuffle had nothing to do with the country and everything to do with the party and its preparation for the next election. And people, please take note of that. My other concern is about words. Words matter, and truth matters, Blossom. And the words of our leaders matter a lot, so they should be truthful. I listened to the Prime Minister speaking about people who do not want any development in the country. And he cited a number of cases, so unfortunately misrepresented by him, where people were just simply saying, we need to put the safeguards in place, we need to do the necessary environmental impact assessments before doing those projects. Nobody said they didn't want those projects. Why is the Prime Minister saying that? Ask the people in Mount Rodney and Mount Alexander and Davie now, if they would not have preferred an EIA done before that breakwater was set up. And they'll give you an answer. Yet we're hearing about things in Livera, in Mount Hatman, in Lassages, some with no EIA and some of them not following what the EIA said. It is the same leader, sadly, who some time ago said that Camahan Park is not about Camahan Park. It's about people not wanting development. And he went on to add that nobody goes to Camahan Park. If you go there now, you'll see that there is not a person in Camahan Park. Blossom, was that true then? Is it true today? Words matter. And let our leaders start speaking truth to power. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bernard. Somebody on WhatsApp says... Somebody on what? If this disease is so dreaded, why not have the little ones protect themselves in the classroom? Trust me, it drives me insane having to try and constantly comply with this mask, trying to impart knowledge to the already agitated kids. And somebody else on WhatsApp says children are not immune to COVID, so they should wear their mask in public. They wear it with pride while adults wear theirs under their chin. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Blossom, yes. my view is that whether the NMP administration, they do good, they do the best, but there are some persons still have the opinion, that's the right, that nothing done or nothing is doing. And it's the same so-called, haters of progress, and you hear them continually. But I believe that the people of this country understand and listen and know the narrow and straight road that leads to eternal life and the road that leads to destruction. Because I know that the NNP administration has done tremendously. That's life. We will have people that are haters of progress, but never mind. The people understand, and the majority of the people understand what's taking place. So I just want to say to the Prime Minister, the Cabinet, and everyone who love Grenada to continue building Grenada. And in this time, in this pandemic, serious is a new normal, and let us all work together so that we bring safe livelihood and save lives in this country. May God bless.
Thank you very much, caller. Somebody on WhatsApp says, I think Grenada did a really good job handling COVID. The people should be proud how it is being handled. Another WhatsApper, I want to know if Grenadians are seeing what is going on in California with the fires and thinking it cannot happen in Grenada. And this person says the hearing impaired also cough and sneeze, so exempting them from wearing masks doesn't make sense. They can't read lips and facial expressions of persons wearing masks. On that note, let's take a break and then we're going to come back inside. This is Open Line here on To The Point. We'll be right back.
Reading is too hard. Reading school books is lame. I'd rather read about children like me and cool things. I can read, but sometimes I don't even know why I have to. It makes no sense.
Why can't we read about things we like?
Reading is the key to unlocking all learning and ensuring that children reach their potential. Here's what the children have to say.
Make reading fun. Teach me how to read, but let me practice reading with things I like to read. Talk with me and read with me, at least for a short time every day. Let me tell you my own stories.
Read, learn, grow. The children are the future. Help them read, learn, grow. So parents, you play a part.
This message is brought to you by the OECS USAID Early Learners Program, funded by United States Agency for International Development.
Get away from your daily stress with a Grenada vacation at the Cuyaba Beach Resort. Cuyaba is located on the world-famous Grand Anse Beach and boasts 5.5 acres of beautiful garden. We offer excellent service, good food and drink, well-appointed rooms and friendly staff in a safe environment. Facilities include 2 restaurants, 2 bars, swimming pool, water sports, tennis, gym and body treatment rooms. Call 473-444-4129.
COVID-19 spreads from person to person through the droplets that are produced when someone coughs or sneezes, which makes it easy to spread between people in close contact. Now let's get prepared to stay healthy. To reduce your chance of catching or spreading COVID-19, practice these simple everyday preventative measures. Droplets can also land on surfaces, so ensure that you wash your hands frequently for a minimum of 20 seconds or sing the happy birthday song twice.
Welcome back to The Point. It's open line here on the program. Let's go right back to the phone line. Lost that caller. Never mind. Let's try again. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom, and how are you this morning?
I'm great.
Yeah, that last caller before the break, I need to congratulate her. She spoke a book. She really spoke like a book. And one more thing, Blossom, Miss Avon, I think you need to actually correct her when she makes a call. I mean, you can't stop from saying what she wants. But I think she's very insulted. I heard her on the morning yesterday or the day before. And the things she was saying to the ministers about the hospital is shit and all that. I think she needs to, she's a big woman. I think she needs to know what's coming off her mouth and have some respect. If not, I think you should just cut every time you heard she talk, say right, Miss Avon, because everybody recognizes her voice. I think you had enough of that, and just cut off. Thank you, my dear. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, caller. I've always asked that we be respectful, and the minister started responding before I reminded the need for respect yesterday as well. But I take what you're saying, caller, and the need to ensure that people are respectful when they call the program. Somebody on WhatsApp said, I live in Mount Rush area and there is hardly a day when there is no burning. It is useless to report it to the police. The last time I called the fire department, I was told that a farmer in the neighborhood has a certificate for burning in the area. So are we to just lay down and die? I can feel it for Citizen Rollo. A lot of us are having problems breathing in smoke-filled conditions. Citizen Rollo is crying out he can't breathe. It is not necessary to burn, especially plastics and styrofoam. Please, people, have a heart. Good morning, caller.
Blossom, I no way disrespect anybody in this world.
You were disrespectful yesterday.
Wait, just let me finish. Now, anybody that my taxpayers' money is paying are public servants. And so Nicholas Steele is a public servant. So you better put it in the pipe and smoke it, because as long as we paying them, they're all, from Keith Mitchell down, is a public servant. But getting back to the issue with the hospital, what I was trying to say, probably I used the word stink, and I should not have. Okay, I kind of take that back. Right, I have no problem with that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. What I was trying to highlight, which I didn't probably say it properly, is that you have a case where you have lots of cases in the hospital where you're calling for ambulances. If you listen to some of the calling programs on a morning, you hear ambulance not coming, people there lying down. You hear all sorts of things about the hospital. Also, I'm saying too that the medical insurance that they were supposed to be talking about, they didn't have, it should have been implemented. It should have been implemented. And also, why did somebody have to come to GBN always to get money for scan and all these sort of things? I was trying to kind of highlight to him, and probably I didn't use the correct word. So I was trying to say that the services in the hospital is not good. Maybe I should not say sting, but it's deteriorating and it's not very good. So I don't disrespect the gentleman about that, but let me just put it on your pipe and smoke it. Anybody that the taxpayers are paying, they are all public servants. So you might call them fancy name minister, prime minister. Look at Trump. Right now you're hearing in the United States of America, they're saying two people vying for the top public servants, which is Biden and Trump, because we taxpayers are paying these people. They are public servants. And it's not to say I disrespect anybody, but probably I should not have used the word in which I say, but what I'm trying to actually say is that it's time, because people are suffering, people are hurting, it's time to bring the national insurance on and beef up their services in the hospital, which is not very good. So I don't disrespect the public servant, Nicholas Steele, but he's a public servant, and I am paying his salary.
Thank you very much. Caller, that's just an example. There's a saying, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. We all aware that they are public servants. That's the what should I call it? The category? They're public servants. But calling him a public servant and the way you were saying it came across disrespectfully. and you're repeating it this morning again in the same tone that you did yesterday, kind of condescending, and it kind of sounds insulting, to be honest. It's not what you say, it's how you say it, because the message that you were probably trying to get across yesterday, it was missed by a lot of people because of your tone. So it's not what you say, it's how you say it that affects the message that you're trying to carry and the way people internalize what you're saying. And the phrase, I've told you about it before, the phrase "put it in a pipe and smoke it," like, disrespectful to me as well. That's my opinion. Somebody on WhatsApp says, somebody says, I don't see the hearing impaired not wearing masks. They are people just like me and you. Matter of fact, some persons are walking around with breathing problems and they have to wear it. People will communicate with them. Children could bring it home to the elderly. Not so? So it's okay for the hearing impaired to cough and sneeze openly? Makes no sense. Please revisit. You know, with all the so-called development that is talked about, someone like the lady that just called pointed out two of the development that is propelling the country in a sustainable way. Just two. The same set of persons that were cleaning the drain since this government came in power are still doing it today. Tell me how they have developed as a person. Good morning, caller. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Yes, I. Good morning to you, my dear. How do you do?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. I'm just calling to make one point, please. I really need my ID card, and my ID card is in there so long, going to this pandemic that we get ourselves in, and many other people. I would really like to get my ID card, because anything I have to do, they're asking me for my ID card, and I do not have my ID card. And anything you have to do, you have to go to the bank, you have to do this, you have to do that. Anything transaction you're making is your ID card. And I please do not know why they're sleeping on it like this. So I would like the government, the people in charge of these situations, may they please try to help the people get back the ID card. I think it is time, because I call in all the time and they keep telling me, oh, they will call me, and they will never call me. If I never call, they will never call me. And many other people is complaining. And what happened is, again, thank you for this one point I'm trying to make. The next point is that I would really like the authorities, the police, to, if they could really put a crossing in the Woburn-Calivini junction up there. It's a very, very active junction going up to Monjaloo and crossing here. And they have many roads in this junction there. And it is very, very active. And sometimes you have to go and stand up there. You have to make sure you watch up, watch down. You have to wait on the traffic and all kind of things. Sometimes the traffic there is very heavy. If they could put a crossing there so that people would know and the vehicles will know that, well, there is a crossing and somebody want to cross, because there is a very active road going up to Monjaloo, as I say. Please, if they could look into that into consideration, I thank them very much. Have a nice, pleasant day, my dear lady, as you continue to do your work in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, now and forevermore. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, caller, and thank you for your blessings. If memory serves me correctly, I remember seeing a notice from the Parliamentary Elections Office that they were reopening and services resumed, and that was a few weeks ago. Actually, not weeks, as a matter of fact, a few months ago. I'm not sure what to tell you. If you're calling the constituency election office, maybe you can try calling the head office in Tantine in Old Trafford, and maybe they may be able to better guide you. In the meantime, maybe get another form of ID. Your passport could work as well. Driver's license, if you maybe have/had one. Maybe find another form of ID, which is why it's important to always have more than one forms of ID, just in case you have to send one to get renewed, and while it's being renewed, you could use another one. So maybe try getting another NIS card or something or the other. Good morning, caller. Good morning. Okay, I seem to have lost that caller. Let me go back to WhatsApp. In the meantime, somebody on WhatsApp, actually, no, let me check YouTube before I go to WhatsApp. Then Facebook, right, let me go to Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, I would like to thank the government for full fulfilling its promise on the tablets in schools. I had the honor of receiving my daughters only yesterday, and it was a pleasure, a dream come true. I do hope the kids and parents take care of it. Thank you once again, Mr. Prime Minister. Somebody else on Facebook says we need two things in the health sector. We need to have a 911 operator call center set up for dispatching ambulances and hospital connections. Also, we need quality assurance and an audit on the hospital by a third party in order to fix all the issues and close the gaps. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Sister Blossom.
Morning.
Sister Blossom, I normally attend the St. George's Port on a weekly basis. And I tell you something, the amount of containers that is landing on the docks is alarming. And when it's coming to the construction basis, the amount of sand boats that normally comes from Guyana on a weekly basis. Let us talk about cement from Trinidad. Sometimes you're having two cement boat dock at St. George's Dock offloading at the same time, just like the sand boat. And sometimes I ask myself, where all these materials nobody goes if it go under the earth? Because yet for all, a lot of people that still say nothing isn't happening. And I know the amount of construction I've seen taking place around this island. The tradesmen moving to and fro, going and work all over the place. And yet for all, you hear people say nothing is going on. Just recently I saw a signboard where help wanted going on, I think it was Lucas Street area. And yet for all, if you go down by the St. George, you see that young men just drinking, smoking, having a good time. They don't want this kind of hard work. A lot of the young men these days, they don't even want to raise a block. If you bring them around, they don't want this kind of hard work. You can even people talking about the agriculture sector. How much young men, most times in the village, you'll see going and hold a cutlass, I want to hold a fork. You're asking people to come and work for you. You're paying them the amount of money they say $60, $70 a day, and they still not even. You can't even get these very sad young men even to come and work for you, and you're paying them. Men, people don't want this type of hard work, especially some of the young men who attend secondary school and they come with the 2 and 3 subjects. The parents and them don't want to go into this type of work to go and hold a fork, or hold a cutlass, or to go and do this kind of work. You may get a young man most times a week to come and cut you. Yeah, that's the only thing. But to get a young man to come and say, like, come and give me a day work to cutlass or fork or to a week work or whatever. They don't come. You can't get this kind of people. If you cannot do it for yourself, forget that. So if you talk about agriculture, this and agriculture loan, but who is the man you get? All these people who should be in agriculture, they get some of them, and some of them die now, and some of them die already die out. We will always remain the same way. Regardless of which administration that implemented, the country want to remain the same way. No, you will never see agriculture go back right back like in the days of Gary days or whatever. You will never see those things happening again. Take what I tell you. Have a blessed day.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much, caller. To the person on Facebook that asked about a call center being set up for the dispatching of ambulances and hospital connections. I recall doing an interview here on one of the programs about a hotline that was set up to contact the hospital. I would have to look back for that information and double check to see if it is still functioning. That post jogged my memory, so I would investigate. Somebody on Facebook says, I agree with the caller about the reshuffling. They didn't say anything about the country moving forward, just the party. How they're improving the various sectors with the same people and no new vision. We need fresh people. Another Facebooker says, whenever someone made a point about the way the administration carries on, the way the administration carries on, you'll be called haters by the supporters. You'll be called haters by the supporters and feel like you shouldn't talk. We need to stop. We have to realize that the administration has a history of misleading the public in so many ways. Example, oil and gas at the last rally, the money speech by the PM, plus the shrimp and fowl farm, the bank where Grenadian lost thousands of dollars, deals with con men, and a list goes on. So we can't jump in down people's throat when they speak up of what's going on in Grenada. people need to speak out more than ever. Lots been happening. We have to be the voice for the voiceless. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, my darling.
Good morning, Miss Jacob. How you do?
Dear baby, I tell you, you know I go ask you for my mommy.
Mommy is good.
And so long mommy good, all of us good.
All right.
Right. Sister Bassam, you know something? I'm telling you. This agriculture business, people want to go in it, but you have some people, they don't want to work. They're not working. Okay. While you working in the day, they sleeping in the day. And you know what they're doing in the night? They're going and take your produce. Picking your mango, picking your sapodilla is what they do, picking your breadfruit. Look, there are they, a poor fella, 5 bunch of fig, they take it. He leave it there the evening to go back 5 in the morning. They take it. And then they don't give in them nothing. Only, what? They Lord, Father, to give them some punishment, especially these young men that go and thief. Give them the amount of age they have. If it's 40 years, give them 40 years in jail. And before they come out, give them about 30 lash in the tail. That's why Uncle Gary, that come and take out the cat and thing in the prison. Because it's that those prisoners those get, according to what you take. You get every day. Oh, Lord. My people doesn't listen to the BBC News. I must listen to the BBC News. You know where go get the BBC News? And GBN. GBN had the BBC News from 10 o'clock until 5 in the morning. Then sometime when I sit and listen to the BBC News, I go here, Grenada is a cake. The Sister Bassam, I can't talk more. I want you to have a very blessed day and take good care of my mommy for me. Mommy, good morning, sweetheart. And I'm sending a kiss by your daughter for you.
Thank you very much, Miss Jacob. Have a good day.
Bye, darling.
All right. Let me go back to Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, Grenadians always talking about what they need and their wants, but how many % of Grenadians pay taxes? So where is the money to do all these things? Everybody pays taxes. VAT is a tax. Everybody pays VAT. Somebody else on Facebook says, we need an independent body to monitor the affairs of Grenada and to hold the government accountable wherever they go wrong. Somebody on WhatsApp says, just a moment, right. We would like someone to do something about the playing field in Birch Grove, Lower Capital. Please do something about it. Someone's getting money and not cutting. Good morning, caller.
Blossom, good morning. How you doing?
I'm good.
Okay, briefly. Yes, I would not say there is a call center for the dispatch of ambulance. One is in the making, but there were trained dispatchers. So there are over 5 trained dispatchers. Now, and I'm Kevin speaking, eh?
Yes, I picked up the voice. Mm-hmm.
For the record, no. The last set of new ambulances that the ministry got, they were branded with this number, and that number has been in existence for many years, even before I joined the ministry, and I am in the ministry 16 plus years now. So the number is 434. 434 means get emergency help. That's the short code, and you don't have to pay. It's just like dialing 911. Now, when you call 434, instead of you have to call hospital, or sometimes when some people call 911, now if you call 911 for an emergency, what we have seen happening is that the officer would take your information and then transfer the call to the hospital, and there were some bottlenecks there, some delays and so on. So, that's why we had then took this decision to up our ambulance quota, and in so doing, ensure that 434 was reactivated. So 434 is there. If you call 434 right now, you should get somebody to answer. They will take your information, and it's a faster way because you don't have to call the PBX or you don't have to call 911, where 911 take the information and transfer. Now, recently someone said, well, most countries have 911. Yes, almost every country has 911, but also many countries have a number that goes straight to your ambulance services. So, for example, the NHS does not use 911, and that is in the UK. So, those things were done. Like, for example, right now, Guav has, how I would say, an upgraded ambulance. Carrefour has one. That was about, and I'm talking about 5 new ambulances that were commissioned about 2 years ago, max, and were brand new ambulances. So the issue of the call center, as I said, that is being worked on. As a matter of fact, even EMTs were trained. We had started training people, and it's sad that we don't recall those important things, but we could, and I'm talking about just late last year, earlier this year, the EMTs were trained, and it made news. However, sadly, people could remember a statement that the Prime Minister may have made many years ago, and as recently as a few months ago, important things like EMTs being trained, dispatchers being trained, new systems at the airport and so on. We conveniently forget those things and give the impression that, well, these things need to happen because we are living in the Stone Age. And you are correct. You did the interview, and that interview was done with Dr. Carol McIntosh, who is the director of hospital services. So those things were done. I must say, though, regrettably, that COVID has indeed, sidetracked a number of things moving forward. Although, so for example, for the last, there was an activity in the stadium, and we had dispatchers and how to say, EMTs and so on, working with the ambulance people and nurses. So the training was done by a gentleman who also trained persons in the U.S. military. And, he is well known. He also participated in the setting up of the EMT system in Guyana, the Bahamas, and other countries. So it's not somebody who just came out of the woodworks like that. It's somebody who has been there for quite a number of years, and he's well qualified, and he was down here doing that training. So we do have a batch of trained persons. We do have a number of ambulances. What people need to do is to start saving those numbers. For example, there's a number blossom that goes directly to casualty. And for Dai Kingdom come, a number of people don't know the number because why? They make other things their priority. I have it written on my fridge home, and I have always told my relatives, in case something happens, do not dial the hospital straight line. Dial that number, it goes straight to casualty. Casualty could also dispatch an ambulance. Okay. And I have 434 written on my fridge. So people should, Blossom, you save it, 434, and you will get directly to the ambulance dispatchers. And if you also look in the directory, and you will see casualty number listed right there. So there are numbers that will take you directly to those departments.
Okay.
And they are important numbers.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kevil. That was the PRO in the Ministry of Health, Kevil Frederick, giving us some update. But here's where I'm having a slight, I don't want to call it a problem, but a little issue. And somebody on WhatsApp said it, and I'm going to read it. There are too many hotlines, too many numbers. We need a proper functioning 911 number to cover all emergencies. And I agree. In an emergency, Blossom does panic. And Blossom don't have the mental capacity during an emergency to remember, if it's casualty, I want to call this number. No, I want the hotline, so let me call 434. No, I want 911. Don't nobody got a kind of time. If we have a proper functioning 911 system, 911, and I get what I'm looking for. That's the easiest number to remember. I may not always be in front of my fridge to look for the number. I may be in town, I may be driving on the road, I may be somewhere or the other. It's nothing about priorities, Kevin. It's about reacting in an emergency. I don't have time to remember 4 and 5 numbers depending on which department I'm... No, ma'am. Sorry. I apologize, but nope. If we work on building 911, we could go a long way. 911 is universal. So next thing I in the States and I forgot myself and I dial 434. What happening in the dance? No. I hear what you're saying. But we have to think about emergencies. That's all I'm saying. All right. There we go. Maybe time for a few more comments. Let me see if I can get some comments on WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, if there is a properly functioning 911 number that is not used for personal calls, it will be much easier. Even children could remember 911 and assist others in emergency settings. That's another thing too. The children didn't have time to remember which number to dial when. I don't know. Anyway, another WhatsApper says, why is Kem Jones preaching Peter David was demoted to agriculture? In my opinion, I think Peter was promoted to agriculture because the Prime Minister sees the leadership in him and he can make things happen. So I am appealing to the NDC mouthpiece to preach about something else and not Peter, because I know Peter is going to surprise all the haters with the work he is doing, what he is going to do in his new ministry. Phone. Let me take this caller and then we take the final 2 comments and wind down. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
What?
I'm calling for the program.
Yes, you're on the program. Go ahead.
Okay. In terms of the emergency response for the ambulance, I think to me one of the problem is that it's the time that the ambulance take with the staff to be dispatched. They need an emergency team attached to the ambulance every hour on their duty. Take, for instance, you have a 7 to 1 shift. You should have at least 3 people, an orderly, a nurse, and the driver, which is attached to the ambulance, that when they get the call, the ambulance dispatch at the same time. If you have to go to find a nurse and an orderly to go with the driver, there will be a delay in terms of the dispatching of the ambulance. So I think, as with my local knowledge, that what they do need is an emergency team on the ambulance on every shift. And I think this is going to assist. This is going to make a big difference in that situation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. And I agree with you. And let me give a scenario, a real-life scenario which happened, if not earlier this month, late last month. There was an accident in St. David. I think it was about 1:30 the morning. And the vehicular accident, I think the driver was still trapped in the vehicle. And they called the nearest the nearest medical station and police station for assistance. And the callers were told that the driver for the ambulance in St. David lives in St. Andrew and he's at home. I repeat, the driver for the ambulance in St. David lives in St. Andrew and he was at home 1:30 in the morning. And they weren't sure if they could get a vehicle to him to bring him down to the ambulance, something so or the other. And the driver was in the car for close to an hour, waiting on assistance in some form or fashion. I mean, if we're doing something, we're doing something. And that's a real scenario I'm giving all, yeah? If we're doing something, we're doing something. It is disheartening in these instances. And the people who pay the price are members of the public. and we make efforts and we train and we get ambulances and we do this and we do that, and then we're not seeing the benefits of these efforts because the response is delayed, for lack of a better word, or the person's handling the situation not people friendly. It is heartbreaking that when an ambulance arrives on the scene, I ranted this morning, but it's something that's on my heart and on my mind. When an ambulance arrives on the scene, people who are there, tending to whoever was sick at the time, trying to explain to the medical people, this is what we witnessed, this is what's happening, and they just cast aside. And they're probably giving you vital information. Yes, you're the one that trained, but the information that the witnesses are given could help. But you just push us aside like, it's me that have the degree, low me. All these things just does nothing for our health system in Grenada. Where we could help it, let's help it. There are areas that needs much attention, but the areas that we could work on, let's do so. But instead, most sectors in the health, most departments in the health sector, just leaves much to be desired. And we need to do better. And this is not a rant or meant to be hurtful or disrespectful to our health workers, because it's not all. There are some very nice health workers around the Tri-Island, but there are some that cast a bad light on the rest of the people in the occupation. And sometimes it's not by choice, but we get defensive because we know from past experiences. Let's work with each other to do better. I know Blossom ranted for the last 4 minutes or so, but it was on my heart. All right, we're going to wrap up the program here. Thank you guys so much for participating. Tomorrow, God willing, I was expecting there to be sitting of the Senate. However, I am hearing that there is not Senate tomorrow, please the Lord, so it just may be an open line tomorrow, please the Lord, just in case. And we can continue the discussions that we've started this week. See you all tomorrow, God willing. Have yourselves a productive, peaceful, thankful Thursday, and I'll be back with you in the morning, God willing. Bye-bye.